All right, Pisces, welcome to your weekly Sidereal Astrology forecast. This is going to be for the 28th of December through the 3rd of January. My name is Athen, and this is for Sidereal Astrology. If you are new to this type of astrology, do check the description down below because the signs are different. All right, Pisces, so this week, not a whole lot going on astrologically, but one aspect involving your modern-day ruler, Neptune, which is quite important, as well as Mercury slowing down this week. He's going to go retrograde next week, so he's got this aspect. He's squaring up to Mars, which is really bringing out this Mercury square Mars. Usually these aspects are like within a day or two, maybe three, but it's really dragging this out all the way through this Mercury retrograde period. So throughout the whole week, pretty much. So quite important with this. This is where sometimes on a collective level, we're feeling a little bit touchy or irritable with our communications and social aspects, since the daily sphere is squaring up to Mars, which is more about our own personal interests, and that square kind of makes that quite challenging. But of course, your personal chart is the most important thing to look at with that. But collectively, that is the general energies of the week. I feel like the strong energy of the week as well, especially around Tuesday. Now, it's involving two particular areas, which is your 7th house of interrelationships and also your 10th house of career, which is where you've had Mercury transiting. So I want to say that this aspect can be very constructive when utilized in that balanced way and patient way, which is what the square really represents. So with all this perhaps intention lately or directness with your one-on-one connections, with your relationships, or maybe motivation to, assert yourself in that area, bring extra attention to that this week, especially with the communicative aspects of things, since we are talking about Mercury, especially with your own self-interest involving either relationships or mutual agreements or contracts, legal matters, business things, anything else that might be 7th house related for you. And also do bring that extra attention to the career stuff. But again, it can be very grounded, so it could be a good week of working with anything on that big picture, public legacy level, so long as there is that patience and slow and steady hard work in the mix. But be open to change, because Mercury is going to go retrograde for the bulk of that 10th house. So there are things shifting and changing here. It's a time of redoing and reflecting in that 10th, but still it could be building some foundations this week that might assist with that. So in terms of rulerships, Mercury also rules that 4th house of yours. So extra attention on home, family matters, and health this week I think will be important for you. And Mars rules both your 9th and your 2nd. So the more expansive views of life, your philosophy, the big picture life, in general, extra attention there, as well as maybe the financial material things as well. So that's going to be strongest on Tuesday, but also on Tuesday, which is kind of mitigating this energy a little bit, is the sun sextiling up to your modern day ruler Neptune. So with big picture focus, I think for you guys to really connect to your intuition stuff with Neptune in your 12th, it could be quite supportive with the career. In fact, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, maybe it could be easy going with the flow, having that faith and trust, and expressing yourself perhaps quite easily in that regards, and maybe even with the routine as well, easy going. So those are the two aspects. Now we do have Venus transiting into Scorpio this later part of the week, New Year's Eve and New Year's Day, going into your 9th. So your 9th house has had Saturn in it. This is the house of everything abroad, big picture things, travel, philosophy, your life path, which has been perhaps quite serious and grounding over the past months, with Saturn going in here recently, off and on in 2015. But now with Venus, it can kind of lighten that up, and it can kind of create a little bit of an easier energy. In fact, you can quite enjoy, I think, connecting to nature, expanding your horizons, maybe reading philosophy and things like that, really seeing what's possible in life and how you can ground it. Especially as Venus gets closer to Saturn, it does tend to, make it more enjoyable in that regard. So a good shift later part of the week, and that'll be for about the next 3 or 4 weeks with Venus in that 9th house of yours. So that's the week in a nutshell. I do want to talk about the lunar cycle, since the moon's aspects are probably going to take a forefront, since we don't have any other major aspects going on this week. So this whole lunar cycle has been in regards to that 9th house, right? This is both in the short term of the past few weeks, but also for the next 6 months, involving maybe some new beginnings that came to you a few weeks ago in regards to your life path, philosophy, spirituality, expanding your horizons. So in this 3rd quarter phase of this week, it's a great time to implement that and ground those 9th house things, and also maybe even utilize some of these insights that came to you around home and family during that full moon last Friday on Christmas Day. So good awareness with that can really help this week also. All right, Pisces, so have a great week. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys all next time. Take care.